CD, pop it in. In this case, I've got a bunch of test tones on here. I would recommend just downloading the one test tone that we're asking you to. In this case, I was using number 5. This is a 100 Hertz test tone. We'll put a specific link to this on our site, and this is the test tone you're going to want to use to set up the ReCurve. You're going to want to turn this all the way up to 55. At this point, because we ran new speaker wire, we ran subwoofer wiring, we put in a new amp, you shouldn't really hear any noise coming from anywhere else because all the speakers are disconnected at this point. Make sure you don't play these test tones on your stereo system. They can blow your speakers. Make sure you only do this when nothing is hooked up. So again, set it to 55, 100 Hertz test tone, and now we'll go through setting up the ReCurve. Okay, here you're looking at the ReCurve, and we're getting ready to set the output voltage from the ReCurve to the amplifier. So right now we've got the JBL setup, we got the JBL wiring harness in place, ran it along the door panel, or the door sill. We ran the wires under, I don't know if you can see it, underneath this foam here, and then all the wires hiding here. Obviously you've seen we wired that up already. So the next step is we put in a test tone in the stereo. So what we're going to do now is we're using the test tone to generate a signal that we can use to measure using our voltmeter. You can pick one of these up at Walmart or Home Depot. If you order ahead of time, you can probably get one at oh gosh, at Amazon for about 15 or 18 bucks, and we'll put a link on the site as well. You don't really need a high-end one like this, but any decent one will work, and like I said, we'll put a link. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is take your voltmeter, put it on the V with the squiggly line, and that's for alternating. We're measuring the alternating current or voltage coming out of the ReCurve. So you take your positive and negative leads from your voltmeter, and a voltmeter you can use for a million uses. I mean, it's a great tool to have if you do any modding to your truck, not just for stereos. Okay, so the outside we measure here for the negative, and the positive you've got to stick inside, and then make sure it's making contact on the inside. You'll see the you can see this. Yikes! You can see the oh gosh, come on. You can see the voltage changing here. All right, so here we've got 0.12413 volts coming out of the ReCurve right now, and we want to get this to about 1 volt. So we're going to take the front and we turn this knob to say about 3 o'clock on a watch. Then you take the output knob and you turn that up slowly until you get to 1 volt. Okay. And you don't have to be exact, and I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time save time on the video. Okay, now the same thing for the front, for the rear. Measure. We're getting 0.3. I'm going to turn this one to about 1 o'clock, and this one I'm going to turn up till I get to the 1 volt that I'm looking for. Okay. Oops, come on. Okay, and then I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but and the same thing, and then on the sub, what I like to do on the sub output is same thing, put that to about 3 o'clock, and I like to get the sub to about 1.1, 1.2. So let me turn this up a little bit more. There we go, right around 1.1, almost 1.2. But, oh, I forgot to mention, before you start, be sure to disconnect your subwoofer control knob here. Okay, so I've got 1 volt, and a little over 1 volt here. Now, something that you need to be aware of is in the Tundra with the JBL, it's got a center channel. That center channel is actually just another left speaker. So it robs power from the output here. So if you measure here, you're not getting the full 1 volt. Actually, you're getting almost half. So what that means is you're going to feed less signal to your amplifier, so your left side is going to be lower than your right side. To fix that problem, simply disconnect your center channel speaker, and I'll show you how to do it. It takes all of 5 minutes to get that center channel out, and when you do, this will come back up to a full volt, and it matches this one This one is on, and this one. And again, you may want to come back through and just touch these up. I just rushed through. Make sure I make good contact. And that's it. So the ReCurve is ready to be plugged into your amp now. Again, just to reiterate, I burned a CD, took the 100 hertz test tone, plugged it, put it in, burned it onto a CD, make sure it's a WAV file, plugged it into the CD player, set the CD player to 55, to level 55 on the head unit. It's sending a signal to the ReCurve here, and we're measuring the output voltage that's going to the amp. So what's happening now is that the ReCurve is going to fix that signal coming from the head unit, and we'll be able to fine tune it using these adjustments here, and we'll go over these in a little bit. So at that point you're done. The ReCurve's ready to go. There's going to be another video. I'm going to try and get that one done ASAP. I assumed a lot of people could use other videos on how to set the gain and crossover on amps, but I guess there's just not any good ones out there. So that'll be the next video, is how to actually set the crossovers and basically how to set the amp up to work best with the ReCurve. Alright, if you guys have any questions, just hit us up. Thanks. Alright, so wire strippers, and then I want to take my connector, open up the connector. Alright, and then I'm going to take my gray wire and strip some of the wire away. Alright, now see if I can get that. I'm going to zoom in here just one. Okay guys, readjust it a little bit so I can zoom in. Alright, see here, you can see earlier I stripped away this wire. I hope you can see that in the video. Let me see, sorry about that. Okay, now I'm going to insert this wire into this connector. Now, when I slide that in, I want to make sure that I have enough wire that it fits into the connector, but I don't want to have any bare wire exposed on the outside. And it's really important that you don't have any bare wire exposed, because if you leave bare wire and it reaches over and it touches another wire, you'll end up with weird noise or weird problems in your system. So I'm going to take this, slide that in there, and now I'm going to tighten this up. Oh gosh, what did I do with my screwdriver? There it is. I know that the connector inside is making contact with the wire itself. This is not going to make contact with another wire. So this is a good example of how you want your connections to be. Now I'm not going to bore you with connecting each one of these. Basically all you're going to do at this point is follow the color code. You're going to have, the next one will be gray, black, white, white, black. So basically you're just color matching at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here, readjust again. I'll get all the wires. Alright guys, everything's connected. I've got my speaker level inputs coming from the ReCurve wiring system. All connected. I made sure that none of the wires are touching, or there's nothing. There's no way that these are going to make contact with each other. On this side, I've got my ground, yellow, and red all in the. Make sure they're in the correct spot. We'll talk about this last wire when we're hooking up the amplifier. So at this point, the ReCurve's wired in, and the reason I like to wire this side in first is because that way I know that these loose wires won't make connection with anything when I actually apply the power to this unit. Now, a little tip for you guys. I recommend never cut your ReCurve wiring, because a lot of times you guys will make adjustments or changes to your system a year, 2 years, sometimes down the road. And if you cut this wire, you're going to kind of limit yourself. And this wire is, getting color-coded wire is not cheap. If you head over to the auto parts store, you'll figure that out pretty quick. So I recommend hiding it. Don't cut this wiring. I'm going to show you guys how to remove the center channel speaker so it doesn't affect your sound quality. Let's see here. Alright, you're going to need a screwdriver. You're simply going to take the screwdriver, carefully slide it under here. Be careful because you've got a wire here, so we're just going to... Then I'm going to take a ratchet with a 10mm socket. bolt. Two bolts. Then you slide this out. Oops. And you see here, I don't know if you can see that, not in my hand. Right here, there's a little clip like the others, just pinch it down. Come on, get out of there. There we go. And you're done. That'll fix the sound, that'll fix the left and right level problem that you'll encounter. Again, this is just another left speaker. It's not really a center channel.